colleagues, and I'll put the reference for that article in the description for this video. So first I'm going to talk about dark triad traits, and then take a look at different sexual fantasy themes, and I'll talk about the relationship between these two constructs. So the dark triad traits, sometimes just referred to as the dark triad, comprises 3 personality traits: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. And a lot of times when we think of the dark triad, we think of narcissism as the lightest trait and psychopathy as the darkest trait of these 3. And we see these different traits have characteristics in common, like empathy deficits, selfishness, a short-term mating style, as well as being competitive, antisocial, hedonistic, and having antagonism. And we can think of antagonism as a low score on the agreeableness trait of the 5-factor model. When we think of the dark triad, specifically we hear the terms narcissism and psychopathy. Sometimes we think of mental disorders which are related to those traits. For example, with narcissism, an extreme manifestation of grandiose narcissism could be in some cases considered narcissistic personality disorder. And with psychopathy, there are 2 factors to psychopathy. Factor 2 psychopathy has a relationship to antisocial personality disorder. So again, we see personality disorders related to these traits, but it's important to remember that the dark triad has nothing to do with pathology. Someone can have narcissism and psychopathy and of course Machiavellianism and it not rise to the level of pathology. It doesn't mean that there's always a mental disorder related to that trait. So taking a look at the traits individually, with narcissism, we see there's 2 types of narcissism, grandiose and vulnerable. When we talk with the dark triad,